Have you seen the U.S. News and World Report's latest publication about the best diets in 2021? If you have, maybe you've seen that the keto diet is near the bottom, one of the worst diets you could possibly follow, according to them. Well, is that true? What do you need to know about this to maybe help make sense of it? I'm Dr. Brett Scher, the medical director at dietdoctor.com, and Ann Mullins just wrote a piece at dietdoctor.com about these latest dietary updates, I guess you could say, by U.S. News and World Report about their subjective ranking. Every January for the past 11 years, the magazine U.S. News and World Report has published its ranking of the best diets. And every year, it ignores the growing body of high-quality scientific evidence and ranks the ketogenic diet in nearly last place. And this is really interesting. I mean, there's a lot of controversy, right? People who believe in a low-carb ketogenic diet are kind of rightfully up in arms about the way this magazine ranks diets. But let's be honest here. This isn't a scientific paper. It's not a scientific publication. It's a subjective ranking from a, news magazine, I guess you could say, if you want to call it that. So they've got every right to rank things how they want. But I think they need to be very clear that this is not based on science, right? This is based on a subjective view. And look, if you're coming from the point of view where you believe fat is dangerous and fat is bad, and you believe for a diet to be healthy, it must have fruits and vegetables and whole grains. If you're coming from that paradigm, then of course you're going to rank a keto diet or a very low carb diet near the bottom. But the problem is that those are misconceptions, right? Those are commonly held beliefs that are not borne out in high quality science. If you look at randomized controlled trials, if you look at interventional trials, if you recognize the incredible weakness of observational nutritional epidemiology, if you approach it from that standpoint, then they're absolutely wrong. And there isn't evidence to say that a keto diet is the worst diet you can follow. In fact, it's probably the opposite. Then there's evidence to say a keto diet is a very good diet and a very healthy diet to follow for many people. But they're coming from the old paradigm. So, it's on the one hand, you could say it's hard to fault them for reaching their conclusions, but where you can fault them is on their assumptions. So, and here's another thing. They said to be top rated, a diet had to be safe, relatively easy to follow, nutritious and effective for weight loss, and had to be stellar at preventing diabetes and heart disease. So when you look at the evidence of what supports any of these diets, which is going to treat or prevent diabetes the best? Likely one that severely reduces carbohydrates. The keto diet likely has the best evidence to support treating diabetes. And in terms of preventing heart disease, that means so much more than just what effect it has on LDL-C. And that's a big problem. Because when you look at evidence of what people point to for a diet reducing heart disease, it really comes down to what does diet do to LDL cholesterol. Not what does diet do to inflammation or your blood sugar or your insulin level or your visceral adiposity, your abdominal weight, whereas all of these things impact cardiovascular risk. And studies that have looked at a ketogenic diet's impact on a cardiovascular risk calculator show it reduces the risk, right? So look, what if you said to the U.S. News and World Report, how about a diet that helps you lose weight better than low-fat diet, helps you reduce your triglycerides, helps you reduce your amount of small, dense LDL, helps you reduce your inflammation. I mean, they'd probably be all over that. But once you give it a label as keto or say there's fat involved, then all of those incorrect assumptions come in and cloud the science. So I probably gave this more time than it really deserves. It's a news publication giving their subjective rankings. And it is what it is, and it shouldn't surprise us. But the important take-home is that it's not based in high-quality, accurate science. Now, also interestingly, the owner of U.S. News and World Report is a vocal vegan, and I was trying to think, how much does that really play into it? I mean, he owns the paper, but he's not the one making the rankings, so does it matter that he's vegan or not? And I don't know, take that for what you want. I mean, I imagine if they'd ranked keto diet number 1, maybe it wouldn't be the same board the following year ranking them, but those are all speculations. And really that doesn't, I don't know how much that plays into it, but the way they ignore science certainly does play into it. So if you really want to know if a keto diet is right for you, don't go to US News and World Report. And that's what we at Diet Doctor really want to help you with, to help you learn more about the true science and the benefits and risks of a keto diet. So you can learn more at dietdoctor.com. All right, hope this was helpful. We'll see you again sometime soon on Diet Doctor News on YouTube.